Welcome to the Brunch Club podcast, where we highlight amazing women. Join us to fill your cup with inspiration and motivation as our guests share their experiences, their stories, and some hot gossip. Welcome back to the Brunch Club. I'm Rachel Svoboda, and we are here at my sister's closet and Well Suited in Newport Beach. And the episode for today is going to be with our guest, Paula Steurer. She is the founder, CEO, owner extraordinaire of Sterling Public Relations that has been here. I think you started it, 2008,
so 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years.
No, it's hard to believe.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I mean, I feel like my business has been around 10 years and I'm really excited about that.
Congrats.
Well, thank you, but you've made it to 18.
I know,
Okay,
I know.
What's the secret sauce?
I think you just consistently have to evolve. Things change, marketing and PR is fluid, so you can't stay married to do things one way. You need to be flexible, and I think changing with the times has allowed me to grow and my firm to grow. So I think being nimble and agile goes a long way.
Okay, I can do that. I can remember, like when I started Sunday Brunch, social media wasn't even a service that we offered because it didn't exist. So, or it very, very barely existed. So that makes sense. That rings true. How do you think public relations has evolved over the last 18 years?
Well, you just made a great point. When I started my firm in 2008, social media was really just kind of coming on the scene. So I joke, I used to have clients who would say, should I have a social media presence?
Oh, yeah.
And now it's so funny because no one would ask me that seriously.
Yeah.
But that was a question back then because brands didn't know how much they wanted to embrace it. Platforms were starting to change and evolve. So the insurgence of social media really changed the way PR was done because we have this direct outlet with social to clients that we didn't used to have. And when I started my firm, that was all happening. So the shift happened right when I started my firm, which I feel like was great for my firm because as the industry was changing, we were launching and growing.
So you were ready.
Yes.
And okay, all right. Now what about like the traditional, I'm sorry, I'm gonna nerd out here a little bit, but like when people who are not familiar with the industry, they hear public relations, they think, oh, press release.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
So much more.
Right?
So much more.
Can you just educate for anyone who's watching who maybe wants to learn a little bit more about what exactly goes into public relations?
Sure, and it's a great question because everyone answers this a little bit differently, and I think every PR firm is run a little bit differently, different visions, different services, different philosophy. So for me, I view PR as the true north of any marketing campaign. And so before you can have an email campaign, a social media campaign, direct mail campaigns, you need to have your PR positioning in place. What is your messaging? What's the strategy behind it? And that's where my firm comes in. We're strategists at heart. And then I look at things like email and social and direct mail and events and press. Those are the vehicles with which we disseminate this message. A lot of times when you look at great brands, their messaging is very solid because it's consistent across all of their marketing verticals. And to me, that means they've got a really strong true north, meaning their PR positioning. And a lot of times you'll see brands with fragmented messaging, inconsistent look and feel, and that starts at the top. It's fragmented PR positioning, and that has to come first. So for me, when I launched the firm, we were just traditional PR. So we were doing editorial placements, public figure direction, online presence. And then what happened is our clients would come to us and go, okay, well, we need email marketing or social media or graphic design. And so eventually we brought those services in-house to be sort of an all-inclusive hub to make sure we can be with the client start to finish.
So and as the owner and founder of Sunday Brunch, and you with the public relations, people don't understand that we are super complementary.
Yes.
People used to say oh, are you guys competitors? Anyone in our little small town of Orange
true.
County. And I'm like, no, I love what Paula does. I'm like, she's the best at what she does. So I think that that's really an important distinction.
Thank you for that. Well, and I think as we started to learn more about each other's services, we realized truly how complementary we are, and we actually do very different things for our clients where there is a natural crossover between the two.
Yes.
Sunday Brunch certainly has strengths that Sterling PR doesn't, and vice versa. So it's been nice to see the common threads.
Well, and I love how you think about strategy first. And
Yes.
like when you're saying that, you know, my creative brain is like, oh, well, what's the font and what's the color and what's the photography style and the mood board and like, but that all needs to sing from that same song sheet of the strategy and the
Yes.
positioning, and so they really do work, you know, complementary.
Well, and so many times people want to skip the important planning strategy part because they just want that instant gratification. So they're quick to go to design, and they're quick to go to an event, and they're quick to go to a photo shoot, but they have to take a step backwards. We have to start with who are we targeting, why, what's the messaging, what's primary, what's secondary. And these are things that it takes a time investment, but from an ROI standpoint, that's where you're going to see a result with all of these beautiful tools like podcasts and events and photo shoots and things.
Well, and then I heard something one time that always stuck with me about public relations, and it was consistency.
Yes.
Do you tell your clients that?
Yeah, I say consistency over intensity. And I say that often because you can have one intense campaign for 3 months and no one is going to remember you by month 5. So I would rather have smaller efforts over a 12 or 16 or an 18-month period that are consistent because you're keeping it top of mind in front of your client. Consistency wins. Nordstrom is a great example.
Yes. Okay, wait, talk more about Nordstrom, because I think we can all relate to Nordstrom. Okay, yes.
You know, I mean, when we were growing up, we shopped Nordstrom, our parents shopped Nordstrom, and I think what's been unique about that brand is from a service standpoint, from a store experience standpoint, from a product standpoint, they have been on par as far as I can remember.
Yeah, me too.
And that's leadership from the top down, maintaining your ethos, maintaining your mission and your vision, and I think any great company does those things for longevity.
Yep, I love that. Okay, so taking a step back from work for just a second and like talking about like the you before the company.
Yeah.
So who did you look up to? Like who motivated you, inspired you when you were young and you were trying to figure out what direction you wanted your career and your life to go?
Great question. You know, for me, my Italian grandmother was an unbelievable source of inspiration. She immigrated here as a little girl from Sicily, and she taught me 3 things that always stuck with me. And the first, which is perfect given our location here at my sister's closet, is that you don't have to have a lot of money to be put together. And she also said that being put together was a sign of respect for those around you. And so her point was that you can shop at, you know, an off-brand store, you can shop at a resale shop and look just as wonderful as if you walked into Neiman Marcus and, you know, spent a few $1,000s. But her point was to always be packaged and be presentable, regardless of what the dollar figure was.
I love that.
The next thing was education. So her favorite gift to give me was always a book. So I'm still a complete book nerd. I have lots and lots of books at my house, crates of books I've read. I like actual books, not Kindle.
I love books too.
Right? Like to highlight, turn my pages,
I like
the whole thing.
Notes. Yep, I take notes.
And I think the next thing she taught me was just hard work. You know, she was in a time when women were entering the workforce. You know, up until 1974, I don't think a woman could have a credit card without a co-signer.
Yep.
Which is interesting. And so she was a big champion for women being able to be in the workforce and work hard. And so I really looked up to her quite a bit.
So I love all of that, and it's very relatable for me because I looked up to my grandmother.
Oh, really?
She was the person, and she had a career, and she was like just her own person. And she used to come to Grandparents' Day in high heels and a suit and a briefcase.
I love it.
I didn't know what she did, but I knew that it was fancy and it was in an office, and I knew I wanted to do something like that. So I think and I was young. I was like, you know, maybe 10.
Same, but we're very impressionable at those ages, right? So thankfully we both had these wonderful grandmothers in our lives.
Yeah. So, and she's still in my life, and I still like just have a very special connection with her.
Mine was gone too soon, unfortunately. At 13 she passed, but today she is the only picture I've ever let sit on my desk of a person. I have my dog's pictures, but yeah, a black and white picture. It says, "All my love, all my life, love Anne," which was her name. And so as long as I work,
I got goosebumps. I love that.
As long as I work, that picture will be on my desk.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. And you said something about a book that you recommended that I actually never heard of, is The Freedom from the Known.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's a must read.
Okay.
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like I was surprised that I had never heard of it. So what's your favorite part?
So Freedom from the Known is by Jiddu Krishnamurti, who is an Indian philosopher who actually passed away in '86. We were very, very young at that time.
Yeah, that's right.
But, you know, his studies throughout his life were all about questioning what we're told. Because the thing is, from the time we're born, we are conditioned to like certain foods, like certain people, dislike certain colors, you name it, we're conditioned. And so by the time we reach adulthood, his point is that actually your thought? Or are you adopting something that you have been told? And I think those basic principles are very important in the day we live in today with what's happening in the world. So many people are sheep and take in information and just parrot the information versus spending time critically thinking about the information they've been given. And so that book really opened my eyes to, I think, the value in doing that with everything in your life.
Okay, and I like that it's a timeless message.
It is.
I'm gonna definitely, I already put it in my Amazon cart.
Perfect.
So it's like at the top of my list.
And it's a quick read. I mean, it's maybe 100 pages, so you'll fly through it.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I will definitely add that to my list. And there was another thing I was going to ask you. I think it takes a really bold, brave woman, like, to start her own company and bet on herself and say, I'm going to do this. Do you remember, was there a crossroads moment for you where you were like consciously like going down this path? Or did you kind of fall into it? I'm just curious.
I mean, my intention wasn't to start a PR firm.
Really?
No. No. I went to school for merchandise marketing and was always big into, you know, the fashion world, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a buyer for Neiman Marcus. That was my dream. And I went to school at FIDM, finished my degree, and was working in marketing and PR firms. And the short version is someone close to me at the time said, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I said, I'd start a PR firm. And he said, you should do that. And I said, you're crazy. And of course he wasn't crazy. And so
he was brilliant.
He was. And so for about a year we had this conversation, and one day cold turkey I went in December of '07, and I gave my notice to my boss, who said, well, don't worry. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna, you know, hold your position open for a while. You can come back.
Oh, wow.
You tell that to a type A driven Aries, and that was just sealing the deal that I wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
And so when I launched the firm, of course, lots of stress. 80% of PR firms go out of business in the first 3 years, so it's tough. And it was tough in the beginning. But I think, like you know that dedication is key, grit is key, perseverance is key. And once we are all here and we all have earned the seat at the table, it's nice to have the camaraderie of other women who are doing the same thing.
Yeah, I love it. Anytime I think I can champion another woman, or, you know, even just like remind people that you have that choice, right?
Yes.
Like, you can be the best version of you regardless of whatever like that calling is. Like if it's to start a company, or if it's to be, you know, like a premier athlete, or, you know, whatever like you want to do, that when you set your mind to it and you're really driven, you can do it.
And intuition is key. We know, especially women, we have this inner knowing. I'm sure at some point you knew that this was the right direction for you. And same, I knew, even if it was tough, that this was the right direction.
Yeah, there is definitely that knowing. It's like when you're shopping for shoes, and or a purse or something. You're like, that's the one. That's the one.
It's going home with me.
Yes. Good. Well, is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to touch on today that you want to share with others?
Yeah, you know, I think, which I know you can relate to, when we're mentoring other women who are coming up and starting their own careers, I think it's important for women at all stages, but in particular younger women, to realize you don't have to compromise your ethos in order to be successful. And I think it's okay to be in a space where you choose radical honesty, meaning saying what someone needs to hear and maybe doesn't want to hear. I'm at a stage in my career where I'm okay being disliked for being honest. I would rather be, you know, liked for upholding my truth.
Yeah. And well, you know yourself, you know your values, and you choose to surround yourself with like-minded, you know, people who share those values, and
which is a big part of it.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. So I'm glad that, you know, we made the cut.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, well,
To any, businesswoman out there, I hope that, you've learned something from us, or we've inspired you, or if you wanted to reach out and ask us questions, we're around,
Happy to talk, always welcome a conversation.
Yeah, so thanks for watching today, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by the Brunch Club podcast. It's been fabulous to share this time with you. Are you interested in being on the show? Do you want to nominate somebody? Reach out at rachelswoboda.com.